I'm April Hobson, and actually I was born in Maryland and grew up in Eastern Shore and moved here when I was 18. My mother and father-in-law moved here to farm, and that's how we ended up in West Virginia. So now I feel like my soul is out there in those mountains forever because I love West Virginia. I wouldn't move back. I love Maryland, but I wouldn't move back there for anything. I love it here. And I actually started out with my paralegal degree. I got it and was addicted to walking across the stage. That was a feeling I had never felt before. So that was pretty awesome, but I've always wanted to be in education. I've always wanted to be a teacher. So I went back to school for the next 3 years. I only had 2 classes that would transfer over because paralegal degree is so right towards writing and, for the paralegal only, that I only had 2 classes that would transfer over and 2 electives that would transfer over. So I took 21 hours a semester for 3 years. I had to get permission every time. With better than a 3.8 grade average the whole time, with 3 kids in school, and graduated and got a job straight out. I was just blessed to get a job straight out of college and been teaching ever since. I love English. I love writing. I think writing is probably one of the biggest things that saved my life. Writing is so soothing. Writing is self-therapy. Writing is, anything that you've written is biographical. It's history for your family, for you, and I love that. And I get lost in stories. I like working with people. I like knowing people. I think I become a better person, and maybe different's a good word, but I think I become more educated every day by being a teacher myself. And I think experiences from a baby just born to your experiences with the 100-year-old, my great-granny just turned 100 last year. I think those experiences change you a little bit every day. They're just little pieces of, all of my students are little pieces of me now, and it's a phenomenal feeling to make a light bulb turn on in somebody's life, or make them think about something, just to make them think about something. Your just thoughts on the death penalty, or whether or not it's okay to cuss, or, why you will or won't do drugs. Because if you actually have the time and you actually have a person that cares enough to think about those things with you out loud, sometimes you make a better choice than I did at 16. Because you thought about it, because you already had the opportunity to say, well, this is what I'm going to do. And if you don't have the opportunity to think about it, sometimes you make bad choices. I've been on the honor roll for many years, had great attendance, I was taken away from my parents when I was 5 for abuse, and my aunt and uncle took me. Great people. Beautiful, wonderful people, took very good care of me. And my aunt and uncle were so strict, and I know the reason why now, but I didn't have a clue then, and they weren't my mom and dad. And I tell my students all the time, you guys don't come with manuals. You don't come with directions, and your mom and dad are just like you. They make bad choices too. They do stupid things sometimes, but it's all, I promise, it's all in love for you. I'm not gonna say I don't like to not talk about it. I got expelled, and it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that I don't want them to have a misconception about whether I think that that's okay or not. We can make bad choices and we can do wrong things, and I can still love you. But if you can learn from my experience, then all the better. The young man was expelled my 3rd year teaching. Or he was in recommendation for expulsion. And it was my first opportunity as a teacher to use something bad that had happened to me in a good way, because I remember him coming to my room and handing me his literature book and saying, I've been recommended for expulsion. And I was like, oh no. And I hugged him, his mom was with him. And I hugged him and I said, you know what I need you to do? I was rubbing his back. And I wasn't being loud because I didn't want anybody else to be able to hear what I said. I said, I need you to go in there with a humble heart. And I need you to look those people in the face And I need you to tell them that regardless of whether you're innocent or guilty, you're sorry this happened to you and your education is important. Because your life will be on hold for a very long time if you're expelled. It'll be on hold. And you don't need that to happen. You're too smart. And it was the first opportunity as an educator that something that was really bad that happened to me actually could make a tiny little difference in somebody's life. Part of the reason that I'm the teacher I am and can relate to the students that I do, you know, students that everybody says, I love the students who try the hardest because that was me, and the students who are rebellious because that was me, and the students who are the medium and the ones that were with their parents and the ones that weren't with their parents because that was me. So I just feel like I can relate to them in so many ways that if I hadn't had some of these bad experiences, I wouldn't be able to pull from them the things that I can. Class of 2013 and who I'm teaching right now, that's what their job is. That's what I tell them. You look around, you know who's going to struggle. You don't just make sure you graduate, you look around you. Those folks that are going to struggle, that's your job too, is to call them and say, hey, how can I help? You want me to call Ms. Hobson? What can we do for you? Because those folks are human too. And they deserve to walk across that stage too. Now sometimes some of us just need a little extra kick.
My name is Lynn Guy. I'm the superintendent of schools here in Monroe County, and this is my 19th year as superintendent, so that's quite out of the ordinary as far as superintendents go. But one of the things that I guess as far as April being meaningful to the school, we were really, when she graduated and she came looking for a job, we had just lost an English teacher to another system, and her teaching certificate goes to 9th grade. And I remember thinking at the time there ought to be a way to put this person in, because I had met her when she was on the policy council for Head Start, and we'd also been to a couple workshops together too, so I knew you from that program. I mean, I didn't know you very well, but I knew you from that. And your contributions to those meetings were pretty incredible, so you know, I really wanted your enthusiasm in the school. So we managed to work out a schedule that only had 9th grade English in it. There's an old concept in college education that you put your most experienced, your best teachers for your juniors and seniors. And I've always thought that was wrong, because the teaching assistants teach freshmen. And that's wrong, because you really need your best folks at the freshman level. And this lady is one of our best folks. You can't start high school without being in one of your classes. So, and it's made all the difference in the world here. 3 summers ago, this school decided they wanted to go to a different style of scheduling in June. And I was like, you guys are crazy. You can't do that. There's no way you can. And I remember you were in that group saying, yes, we can. We can do it. We can do it. And there were about 20 of you that I don't think left for the summer. They were here every day working on building the schedule, understanding how to do it. And I don't know. That kind of dedication you can't buy. You just can't buy. And this lady's tops among that group of folks. So
It's just not work. It's just life. It's work.
Well, when you love it, it's not work.
Yeah, it's work. It always sounds like an ugly word. It's not work. It's just life. My family is intertwined with my work, and this is my family here too. And my students definitely are. I look at them as individuals that, you know, you look at your mom and your dad and your sisters and your brothers and your children as people who you have to take care of. That's what you're responsible for them. I feel the exact same way about every single student I have.